Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
Jason not here today, getting ready to butcher names tonight.
Yeah.
What?
No, nothing. Speaking of a name that has been butchered by Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons found his way yesterday afternoon to Green Bay. 4 years, $188 million going to Micah. $47 million per year makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. He gets $132 million guaranteed, and the Cowboys get 2 firsts and Kenny Clark? Question mark.
You do get Kenny Clark. Good player. Yeah. Good defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the Green Bay part of it.
Yes.
To me, this is the equivalent of when they signed Reggie White.
Mm-hmm.
White had been with the Eagles, free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, Green Bay gets him. And he changes the fortunes of the franchise to the point where they won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Super Bowl, he had 3 sacks against the Patriots that day. I mean, Desmond Howard may have been the MVP of the game, but Reggie White was the best player.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been the MVP of the game. But this, to me, for Green Bay, is that kind of move where they get a premier, powerful pass rusher, maybe not as a defensive end, but as an outside linebacker defensive end, because today's game is a bit different. But that's what they get. For Dallas, they have set the franchise back years. You have to remember that there is only one team in the NFC that has not been to the NFC Championship game since 1996.
Can I give you a guess?
Yeah.
Is it the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think people realize that.
No.
Everybody else has gone.
But they're the best franchise, Steve. They're worth the most, so they should be the best. And as Jerry Jones said, these picks will hopefully turn into all pros and Pro Bowlers.
Wow.
It's almost like you had a 4-time All-Pro and a 2-time Pro Bowler, or the other way around, something like that, on your roster, who asked for $39 million early this summer, and you tried to negotiate with him instead of an agent like he asked, and then you get mad and trade him for maybes.
I know that they want to equate this to the Herschel Walker deal.
Mm-hmm.
And when they made that deal with Minnesota, it was, they got all the picks, but they were a down-and-out franchise.
Yeah.
When they made those, when they made that trade and then received those picks. And this is different. They're at a crossroads because Dak Prescott is not getting younger.
Nope.
He has a long-term deal. And CeeDee Lamb has a long-term deal.
Mm-hmm.
And they refuse to give Micah Parsons a long-term deal. He's 26. When Myles Garrett got his contract, it was his 3rd contract.
Mm-hmm.
When T.J. Watt got his contract, that was a 3rd contract. This is a 2nd contract. And he's reset the bar on defense because he's the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. But I think Dallas has set itself back years with this deal because Dallas, to me, has not shown a consistent. It's not as if they haven't had some really good picks.
Mm-hmm.
Micah was a great pick.
Yeah.
Right? CeeDee Lamb was a really good pick.
Dak was a great pick.
Right? Dak in the 4th round was a great pick. Okay? So it's not like they haven't had great picks. I mean, Zeke Elliott was a great pick for them and so forth. But they're going to have to hit on something because right now they have so many holes with this team.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised that when the season is over, the Giants have a better record because I think the Giants are a young, up-and-coming team, while Dallas is a fading team.
Dallas just has issues, and instead of building on the defense they had and building on the team they had as a whole, which if their team hit, they have a chance to make the playoffs and do something. Like there's always a chance when you've got a good offense with CeeDee Lamb at receiver, Javonte Williams isn't a bad running back, Prescott's not a bad quarterback. Like you have the capabilities to go out there and be a really good team, and then you trade your best player.
Yeah.
Let's say it. your best player, you trade him, 26 years old, for Kenny Clark, who Kenny Clark is really good. I really like him.
He's a good player.
But Kenny Clark is also 29.
Yeah.
Kenny Clark is older, and you get 2 first-round picks that you presume, let's say they come in over the next 2 years, I believe, over the next 2 drafts, I think.
Right.
Let's say they come in next year. No rookie is going to hit the ground running and be the greatest player on the field. It never happens.
I mean, look, Micah hit the ground running.
Micah did.
Was an excellent player.
But would you, at that point, have said, like, he's the best defensive player in football? Probably not.
No.
And Mike has now got himself to the conversation of being the best defensive player in football. You're hoping that 2 picks become the best. And I'm sorry, but the likelihood of that is what? Negative infinity?
Let's do this in a baseball realm. It would be the equivalent to me of the Pirates trading Paul Skeens for prospects. And you're gonna, and you'd be sitting there as a Pirates fan, and you'd be lying to yourself if you said the prospects were great. You have no idea who they're going to draft. I mean, they may hit on all of them, but I think they would have to hit on all of them.
Can I give you the best comparison here of anything? I'm trying to think of 26-year-old stars who got traded, and they had some light injury concerns, but you felt, you know what? They're going to be fine. Light injury concerns, 26-year-old stars getting traded because you're trying to build more for the future with worse players. Luka Doncic. Literally happened earlier this year. If I'm a Dallas fan, you lost your 2 shining stars in the span of like 6 months.
Doncic's thing is interesting because Doncic is, it showed up in the playoffs and it showed up down the stretch. He's not a good defender. His weight was an issue.
Yeah.
Now he's lost weight, so we'll see what happens moving forward with him.
But at the same time, would you have said, I could build around Luka Doncic, build this team around him?
Look,
Probably.
You made the finals with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he clearly can get you somewhere. Right. Micah, all-world level talent on defense. You think, I can build around this guy. Both 26. Both feel like, you know what, we can do something here. And both times they got traded. And it just, I don't get it. If, as we discussed when the Luka trade happened, if you have a talent that is as good as these 2 guys are, you build around them. Yeah. You make them the stars of your franchise, which you already kind of had given them the keys to the car. And then you take the car away as they're getting ready to get into it. Luka's 26, getting into the prime of his career. Yeah. Micah, 26, getting into the prime of his career. Already considered one of the best at his position or the best in the league at what he does. And you're like, because both times you don't want to pay him. Both.
Look, everybody's getting money. First of all, Dallas's, quote, inability to pay is remarkable because they are raking in money left and right from the stadium, from the Nike deal. I haven't even gotten to the TV deal yet. Right? The radio deal and so forth. Jerry Jones has been an excellent owner. Jerry Jones has not been an excellent GM. Jerry Jones's biggest fault as the owner is Jerry Jones, the GM.
Yes.
It's not as if he's missed on everything. He has not. He has not. But there's been something, quote, missing with that team for years. Like something, I mean, they haven't been to an NFC championship. I mean, they've gone the longest, okay? There are 16 teams in the NFC. Some have miserable records.
Yeah.
But since 1996, they're the only ones that haven't reached the NFC championship game. I mean, really?
Yeah. Peter Schrager said this on social media, and I agreed with him when he said it. Agree with it or not, Jerry is the only person in football who can make a deal like this, and it never was the Lamar Prescott situations. It is only something that he can make because he doesn't have the accountability as owner and GM that others would get, because he can look long-term and not feel the pressure of his job hanging in the balance, which is spot on. Because if you have, let's say...
Well, it's true. You're the owner. You're not going to fire yourself.
No, you can't fire yourself. Let's say I'm in that situation and I make that trade with Micah. All of a sudden, I'm on the hot seat. You look at Nico Harrison. He's sitting here. His chair is on fire because if the Lakers either win or Dallas slides at all the Mavericks, he's probably out of a job.
Right.
Because you make one of the biggest trades possible, and it's like either you hit or you miss. And if you miss, you're out.
Calvin won a championship.
Exactly.
And now he doesn't have a job right now. Yeah, I mean, he has a job, but
but not
with the Denver Nuggets.
Yes. So that's where you're sitting. You're a $13 billion valued franchise. And their revenue this past season apparently was $1.2 billion. You're sitting here making money, raking in dollars. And
well, the valuation is if he were to sell it.
Yes.
I mean,
$13 billion.
I mean, they would get $13 billion in all likelihood in the open market.
And he always discusses how, as you said, they're this cash cow. They're the Cowboys. They make all this money. And then the guy who probably brings in people to games, the guy who you want to go watch, the dude on the field who sells the jerseys, the guy who you put up on all your billboards everywhere, the guy who the fan base loves the most. You're like, that guy. That's who we're not going to pay, and that's who we're going to trade.
The thing is,
and to the Packers in the same in the NFC, you're like, we're trading them to the Packers.
Well, at least you're trading them out of the division.
Yeah, but you still have to see them in the playoffs. Well, they're seeing them week 4.
You're going to see them in week 4 when they play September 28th.
They're playing the day after Penn State, Oregon, and then we're getting Micah against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
woof.
And look, Micah was beloved in Dallas. He will be beloved in Green Bay. Mm-hmm. They love their team. They love their players. Mm-hmm. I know it's a city of 102,000. It's the smallest in the NFL. Not a great, not a huge metro area, but very very suburban, transitioning then into farms up there. I've been to Green Bay, and I think it's the kind of place where he'll thrive there. Mm-hmm. I mean, right now he can buy the biggest house. But
he's got a good team around him.
Jerry Jones, the biggest problem for Jerry Jones is he makes the personnel decisions.
Yeah, Jerry Jones' biggest problem is Jerry Jones.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not like he's missed on all of them. Let's be fair. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like he's missed on all of them, but he's missed on enough. Yeah. And this trade, for a guy that's been throwing out money to guys left and right for years, this one baffled me.
Baffles everybody.
Because it seemed like, based on because the market kept resetting itself. Mm-hmm. So it kept telling Jerry where he needed to go financially. Mm-hmm. You don't have to go that far above the number. Mm-hmm. Okay? Watt barely went over the Garrett number. Mm-hmm. All I got to do, if he offered Micah 5 years to 11, I think he's got him.
Yeah. Micah's point has been, you was offering him 5 years, 200, pretty much a flat 200 number. Mm-hmm. Micah said, at that point, I don't want the 5th year because in 4 years, the new NFL media deals will kick in.
And that's fine.
And explode, and then he wants to get another contract, which sure, fair, understandable. You're 30 years old, makes sense. He didn't want 6 full years of control for Dallas. He wanted only 5 because he's got this year and then 4. Right. That's what he was saying.
And that makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Green Bay gave him 4.
And they could have offered him 4 and what? 160, 170 probably. Let's say 170 gets him to the highest paid number. That probably does it.
But here's the deal. Right? From ownership's point of view, believe it or not, it makes sense to offer 4. Mm-hmm. Why? This is a brutal physical game. Mm-hmm. What's he going to be like in 4 years? He could still be great, no issue, play every single game.
Agreed.
End up playing all 68 games in the 4 years. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you're like, okay, great. And then to Commander really, that's okay, great. Mm-hmm. Well, that means we're getting great production and we're making deep runs in the playoffs and things like that. Mm-hmm. Or it is the kind of game where you get beat up so much. What is your value at that point? I mean, Nick Bosa is a great player, but what's his value? Mm-hmm. He's out of the lineup so much along the way. Joey Bosa's with Buffalo. He's now a spot player. Mm-hmm. Right, which is probably going to allow him to play the full season. It's just the way the sport is. That's why you do offer 4 instead of 5 from management, because of the physicality of the game. It actually made sense for management while also making sense for Micah. I see. That's the part I don't. I mean, it's almost like they don't see things in that realm.
Steve Jones, we do have breaking news here on the show. It has officially been announced. West Shore home field at Beaver Stadium will be the home to Penn State hockey this January. The Hockey Valley doubleheader featuring the men's and women's ice hockey teams in crucial conference matchups will take place on January 31st, 2026. It has officially been announced. Penn State men's hockey will take on Michigan State. The women will take on Robert Morris. This has been rumored for the past week or two. This could be happening, and now it looks like it is the case. It means Penn State hockey fans, you get to see Hobie Baker, top 10 finalist Aiden Fink, and Gavin McKenna in Beaver Stadium. Wow.
I think that's pretty cool.
That is incredibly cool.
We've all been waiting for a long time. And look, what this will do is it'll send a message to the NHL.
Yes.
That, hey, we can do this. The issue to me is going to be quite simple. It's a very simple issue. What will the weather not be like game day in terms of like snow on the ice? Who cares?
Yeah.
Right? That's irrelevant. Right? Will you have all your parking available, and do you have to use the satellite? Now, they have a plan. Do you have to use the satellite lots? That to me is the only thing going on. Now, what it will do to the field, it is going to be, first of all, you're not going to be able to grow anything back.
Yeah, no.
I was in Minneapolis right after the Wild played. Was it the Blackhawks or the Blues?
The Wild played the Blues.
Yeah, St. Louis Blues.
2022.
And they played at Target Field. Well, my hotel room overlooked Target Field. And it was we were there maybe 3 weeks after, and you could see the outline of the rink clearly on the field where they're going to have to repair it. But you can't grow grass that time of year.
Yeah, no.
All right. So the question will be, moving forward, because it is January 31, what can they do to the field? And will they have to put in, can they regrow it? Can they do whatever? Last I checked, the agronomy department here is pretty good.
Yeah. So this is big news, been rumored for a while, and now it is here. It's happening. The Hockey Valley doubleheader in January. I mean, you're going to get, I'm assuming at least the lower bowl will be open. The lower bowl, will all of it be open? Do we think all 106,000 seats possibly? Or 100-something thousand maybe? We're going to have a huge attendance regardless here. That's what's going to happen.
I would think that all the permanent seats will be open. I would guess maybe the
other ones
temporary seats might not be.
Yes. We're sitting here. The upcoming Winter Classic and Stadium Series matchups that are taking place for the NHL. They have their game on January 2nd in Miami at Lone Depot Park. And then February 1st, the day after this, Raymond James Stadium, the Bruins take on the Lightning. The most attended hockey game we have ever seen, or at least has been played during the 20s outdoor games, was in Ann Arbor at the Maple Leafs versus the Red Wings, 105 some odd thousand attended. So technically, if every seat was available, which we are unsure if that's going to be at the moment, as we just kind of said,
I don't know.
Penn State, they could set the number if they got a full sellout crowd, which would be incredible and would be just, I can't imagine what that would be like.
Once they get the stadium complete, then I think they could set the record.
Oh,
they
yeah.
They can bring the Flyers and the Penguins in here. I think that's what they would do. Flyers just have to get more professionals.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Agreed. Speaking of Penn Staters who have taken their talents elsewhere, we got to see last night the start of college football. We got to see a little bit of football last night, and it was incredible to watch Mr. Steve Jones. And in one of those games, we got to see Mr. Beau Pribula put on a bit of a show for Missouri. They took down Central Arkansas 61-6. Beau, as one would expect, had himself an incredible game across the board for Beau Pribula. He had 23 for 28, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air, ran 10 carries, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns, including a 31-yarder. I mean, incredible. As we all said he was, as we all said he would be, going out to Missouri, now down to the SEC, starts off with an easy game against Central Arkansas and just beat the brakes off of them.
Look, you're the prohibitive favorite.
Yes.
In a game like that, you're playing at home. Am I surprised Beau played well? No. I talked to him on Sunday after his Wisconsin game last year where he stepped in the second half. And I said, I'll tell you exactly what I said in the broadcast. I said, I'm not surprised. Beau's very talented. He throws a good ball. He's a great athlete, great runner. I think what Missouri will find out is that when they get into the red zone, Beau's ability to have the threat of running, his threat of being able to run, will free up a couple of guys because you're going to have to account for him, right? If you have a pure drop back quarterback that doesn't run at all, let's take the two guys that are playing tomorrow night, Nussmeier and Klubnik. Okay, in the red zone, you don't have to account for those two guys. If they happen to take off and run, they take off and run, but you don't have to account for those guys. And I think that's Beau. That's what the SEC will find out with Beau in Missouri. You're going to have to account for him. And I'm not surprised at all that he had a really good game last night. Now, again, it's Central Arkansas. It was not Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay. And you always have to, at least admire the performance because it was all the stuff I've seen Beau do before. Right, and at the same time, realize it's a starting point against maybe the weakest team you'll play in your schedule. And now, but that's great for him. In other words, the bottom line is he's told everybody in Missouri he's the starting quarterback.
Yeah. So shout out to Beau Pribula getting the job done in Missouri.
Beau is I can't say enough good things about Beau as a person. Athlete. So I was really, really happy for him last night.
I was happy for him as well. It was awesome to see. And this now takes us to the rest of college football, which has another top 25 matchup taking place today, or at least one team at top 25 in Illinois. They take on Western Illinois in Champaign. We have already seen Iowa State take down Kansas State 22-17, winning 24-21. We saw Boise State last night. I think the best way to say it is collapse in epic proportions, 34-7 to South Florida.
Okay. Obviously, I did a lot of Boise State breakdown before I did the Fiesta Bowl. Genti meant so much to everything that they did. Madsen is a good college quarterback, but he's not beyond a good college quarterback. He's, in other words, he can't carry a team.
Yes.
I'm not being cruel here. In other words, like when you have him in conjunction with the running game, his effectiveness becomes exponentially greater as a quarterback because you're so locked in on trying to stop what was then number 2 in the backfield that you can get some path. But now when you become the focal point, and what happened? They fell behind in the game. Fake punt killed them too. I mean, they put the third string quarterback in as the punter. All right, and they got crushed by it, and they didn't realize who was in the game.
It's very college football to happen.
Well, but in other words, I mean,
pay attention.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, in other words, we do everything we can to tell you who's in the game. I mean, it's not like X is back and just assume it. I'm looking to see if it is X back there all the time. I'm talking about no matter which team is out there, because there have been times where they've thrown out. I've seen the backup quarterback go out, right? I've seen the backup quarterback go out as the holder. You're like going, right? Okay, Jack, the backup quarterback's in the game, who just fill in name, Kyle F., right? I said, let's just see what they want to do here. And sometimes it's just a standard hold, and that's it.
But there's the chance.
But you do point out that they changed the guy. It's one of the reasons why you're not doing this the entire time, looking around. Hey, how's everybody go? You're look like this, trying to making sure personnel's out there. That way you're trying to tell the audience so they're tipped off about the possibility of what a team may or may not be doing. And they got caught on it last night. And the biggest problem with Boise State is a team that is built to play with the lead. And when they fell behind last night, that's not their strong suit, coming from behind. And they don't have the quarterback to bring you back from behind.
Nope.
They control clock. They control yardage. They get to the lead. That was always my point about Michigan. My point about Michigan with with the sign stealing thing, it's not the second, third, and fourth quarters because you're up in the box watching signals, which you're allowed to do. That is legal. It's the start you get off to where you know stuff already, and that they didn't gain a competitive advantage. Whomever says that has just told you that they know nothing about football. They've just told you they know nothing about football, right? Because if Michigan were a team that was built to come from behind and so forth, had a wild, crazy passing game, whatever, you know what I mean? Team like that, I wouldn't think twice about it. No. Okay, it's like, okay, I can understand. Okay, it doesn't really make a big difference, right? But when you sit back and look at what was their MO, run the ball, play with the lead. Play with the lead, run the ball. Now, it doesn't mean J.J. McCarthy can't mix his passes here and there. He had a great Rose Bowl against Alabama, to his credit. But they were built as a team to get to the lead and play with the lead.
And just not let up.
Right? And that's where the sign stealing part came in. It gave them an advantage in the first quarter when they were attempting to get to the lead, thus then allowed them to play to their formula, going the rest of the way. So with Boise State, back to them, they are built to be a team that has to get to the lead and play with the lead. Because you saw last year when they were trying to come back against Penn State.
They just couldn't do it.
They had no chance. No chance. I mean, I knew when Warren caught the touchdown pass in the back of the end zone in the third quarter, I knew the game was over.
Yeah. Now let's go to this weekend's matchups, the big ones. Before we get to Penn State taking on Nevada, we've got the big game at noon going down in Columbus. Texas, number 1, versus Ohio State, number 3. Wow. It is a heck of a way to start off the season, Steve Jones.
It is. Look, the two teams are different right now than they were when they played each other in the national semifinal. And that's something, I'll just do one quick addendum on sports. Do not make the mistake, which most people do, of assuming there's carryover from one season to the next. When you have a team, and Russ Rose is the one that really put this in my mind over and over again. He won 7 national titles, but he won 4 in a row. 4 in a row. And the point of emphasis he made with his team, as he told me, was, he says, I have to convince them on day one that they're a brand new team. That you're 0-0, and last year doesn't gain you a single point this year. Right? The dynamics, there are players that have left. There are freshmen that have come in. This is back when it was more standard. There are players that have graduated. There are freshmen who have come in, and it changes, even subtly, the dynamic of a locker room. You are a different team than you were last year.
Yep.
Right? So now we get to Texas and Ohio State. They're different teams than they were. They played last year. The starting quarterbacks are not there. Quinn Ewers is not there. Will Howard's not there. Or it's going to be Julian Sayin and Arch Manning. Arch Manning has a lot of hype and pressure on him, hype that he has not created himself. Right?
He hasn't done any of it. He's just been like, I'm just here to play.
Not only that, but all the other players on the team get asked about him, but because he's very much of a team guy, you can tell they love him. Texas has made some moves with the transfer portal, wide receiver being one of them. They got some transfer portal guys on defense because they felt they needed it. Ohio State has had to dip into it more, right? Their running back situation. I mean, Peoples is very much like, to me, because he was with them last year, J.K. Dobbins. But now they've got a somewhat slimmer version of C.J. Donaldson, who had been the big power back at West Virginia, who's gone there. Upgraded themselves at tight end. Max Clare is really good.
He's really good talent.
I mean, Purdue has 84 new players this year. Right? The 2 best players on last year's Purdue team, the 2 best players, no question, offense, defense, was Clare the tight end and Dylan Tiedemann the safety. Clare's at Ohio State. Tiedemann's now at Oregon. Okay, those are the 2 best players. Well, Clare will help Sayin out. Jeremiah Smith, great player. Carnell Tate, excellent. Right, number 2 type of receiver with any team. Is kind of like the John Taylor to Jerry Rice thing. Okay, their offensive line is good, but it's not the same as it was last year. Their defensive front is not the same as last year, but they still have a lot in the secondary. And Caleb Downs, Caleb Downs to me is very much like a college version of Troy Polamalu, because you can kind of move him as a chess piece the way Penn State offensively used Tyler Warren as a chess piece last year. Downs is really good, but Hancock's back, Igbignosen's back. I mean, they still have players like that, but they have new coordinators. They also have new coordinators on both sides of the ball. Sayan and Manning will both complete passes tomorrow. But I also expect two coaches to sit there and pick their spots to be daring and not be daring all day long. Because they have to figure out in a game what to trust and what not to trust in their quarterbacks. Now, Sarkisian may have a little better feel in games about Manning. But remember, when I watch Manning, two games in particular I watched Manning play were both against Georgia. Came into the Georgia game in the regular season down in Austin, came into the SEC championship game. He didn't play very well. Now, it's Georgia, but they're not playing Toledo. They're playing Ohio State. Now, does a year of maturity help him? No question. So let's see what he does. Saying I can't tell you what he's going to do. I don't know. Idea. The only thing I've ever seen Julian Saying do in person is warm up.
Yeah. So that game is going on tomorrow at noon on Fox. It's a 1.5-point line for Ohio State, so it's pretty much a toss-up. It's all but like a pick who you want to win type of game.
I mean, if the game were in Austin, they'd be a 1.5.
Yeah. So that game goes on at noon. Another team in the top 25, Tennessee, is down in Atlanta taking on my Syracuse Orange, the full new look Orange. You've got Steve Angeli, the former Notre Dame quarterback there, going with Fran Brown. Tennessee also has a new quarterback, Joey Aguilar, taking over for Nico Yamaleava, who is now at UCLA.
I'm not sure what either quarterback can do in this game.
No one does.
Aguilar was going to be the next guy up at UCLA, but he didn't play for UCLA last year. Right? Meanwhile, Angeli, let's give him credit. I mean, he averted disaster at the end of the first half when he fumbled the ball, and they were able to get it back. I mean, Abdul Carter had
two arms
that were working,
or 1.5 arm,
right? I mean, Penn State recovers the ball. I think they win the game. But to his credit, he was able to hang in there, close out the half. They got a field goal, 10-3 at halftime. So I don't know what they're going to have. I mean, the game's down there. But I think Syracuse is pretty good. If Tennessee takes them lightly, that would be a problem for them.
We saw it last year with the Orange. I know I'm a homer. I went to Syracuse, kind of part of my contract I signed when I got to go to Syracuse University. They have a really good team across the board. They've got good running backs, Will Nixon, Yasin Willis. You've got a good receiving group. You've, of course, got the good quarterbacks. Fran Brown is the head coach. They played really well last year. And yes, they had Kyle McCord, who led the nation in passing. But, they had a real good roster around them.
But let's get to Tennessee, what they don't have. Nico Iamaleava went out and got off to, the first game he played really well. So he was like, okay, here's the $4 million man. Okay, the whole thing. The rest of the season, nothing. Okay? Well, how did Tennessee get to the playoff? Well, they played obviously well defensively, but they had an excellent ground game with Dylan Sampson. When they played Ohio State in the playoff, Sampson was banged up, and Ohio State completely shut him down, and Tennessee's offense was shut down. What does Tennessee's offense look like with Aguilar quarterback? And I'm not sure who their tailback is because it's not Dylan Sampson. So they have some things to overcome.
They do
as well, and I think it's a bigger test for Tennessee than they realize.
Making our way down to later kickoffs, 2:30, Old Dominion at number 20, Indiana. Indiana's favored by 23.5 points. We already discussed Indiana, broke them down.
Mendoza, by the way, the transfer from Cal, the quarterback, that's a really good pickup for them. And it's one thing. I was talking to Todd Blackledge the other day, and Todd said, he says, hey, look, he says, they really take on the persona of their coach. He says they got a lot of confidence. And in terms of the nuts and bolts of coaching, Cignetti's a very good nuts and bolts coach.
Marshall is at number 5. Georgia, down in Athens. Georgia favored by almost 40 points. Alabama is going down to Florida State. Will Tommy Castellanos. Will he do it, Steve Jones?
No. No, the problem is it's a full team issue. They had to bring in a lot of transfers to attempt to right the ship there. Alabama's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, are they great? We'll find out, but they're a good team. The key will be for Kalen DeBoer, what can you and what can't you do with Ty Simpson?
The question.
Defensively, they're very good. They're failing last year when Alabama didn't win is they didn't generate enough offense.
Mm-hmm.
In the Oklahoma game, where they have 6 points, something like that.
Wasn't good.
You know, but the game is down at Doak Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, I would say that the Florida State fan base, they're excited for the game. No, I think they're a wreck because I don't think they know what they have. And Castellanos can run. There's no question. He's not a bad thrower. Not a bad thrower. And he can run. They're going to need that in this game. But Alabama's just a better, deeper team across the board, especially defensively. They're just better and deeper.
So
that makes a big difference. So the Alabama, I think, will win the game by at least 2 touchdowns.
South Dakota is at number 22, Iowa State.
South Dakota, by the way, is good. It's not South Dakota State. This is South Dakota. South Dakota is actually a good FCS team. I mean, and for Iowa State, they won a sloppy game. Not America's greatest coach game.
No.
Right? In Dublin. But you have to fly back from that game, which they did, and then get ready for a game this week. Luna Bell's trying to come in.
Yeah. There's also
right? But see, that's the issue they're going to have. Because, look, I've gone through this. I've seen a team have to go through it firsthand. Bouncing back the next week after the lag of this thing is not easy to do. I mean, they'll win the game, but it'll be more of a fight than people realize.
And also, by the way, there's a full game's worth of film now on this Iowa State team, which will help South Dakota.
I mean, it will. I mean, Iowa State has more talent, and you know, Rocco Beck, the quarterback, and so forth. But you do have that added factor of recovery from not just the game, but recovery from the trip.
We have Montana State heading out to Eugene to take on number 7 Oregon at 4 o'clock on BTN.
Montana State is always a really good FCS team, really good. But for Oregon, Oregon's really talented. We'll see how Moore does at quarterback. Okay, Whittington takes over at running back. Right, he played a lot. He played a lot against Penn State. I liked him last year. They have to. It's not just Tez Johnson, but Evan Stewart's out for the year. So how do you replace him? Plus, they have another wideout that's suspended. But defensively, Uyunglele is excellent on the outside. Batchelor is just terrific as a middle linebacker. And Tiedemann, I mentioned him earlier, going from Purdue there, gives their secondary just a big-time look back there.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll win the game going away, but Montana State is traditionally a very good FCS team. This is not a walkover game, even though in the end I think the score will be a pretty good margin.
Illinois State heading down to Norman, take on Oklahoma at 6 o'clock on ESPN Plus and SEC Network.
We'll see what Mateer's like. He's had a lot of pressure on him after all that stuff with, what was it, Venmo?
Venmo, yes. And Venmo and the NCAA have parted up apparently to make sure that players are kept a little more safe on the Venmo apps. Just put things private. Just don't do it public.
Look, that one of the bigger issues we have today. A positive brings with it unintended consequence. We can get a hold of each other anytime we want. You need something from me, I can get back to you right away, or we can talk right away. Jerry gets a hold of me, and I can ignore it.
Do not disturb.
Anybody know how to block?
Yeah.
But you see, but now let's go to the unintended consequence. People know how to get a hold of players through an Instagram, through a Facebook, through
Venmo,
through an X account, through Venmo.
Everywhere.
Right. If you happen to somehow get the player's phone, some way, shape, or form, you can get a hold of people, and you have enough people out there who are, to their credit, Certifiable.
Yes. We're going to rattle our way through a bunch of the rest of the matchups before we get to the last big ones. Then Penn State, Long Island University at Florida, 15. North Dakota at 17, Kansas State. UTSA at 19, Texas A&M. New Mexico is up in Ann Arbor at Michigan. Arkansas Pine Bluff is at Texas Tech. Georgia State is at Ole Miss. Then scrolling down, East Texas A&M is at SMU. Northern Arizona at Arizona State. That wraps up the big matchups. They'll get the last big one, LSU at Clemson.
Before I get to that, Michigan, New Mexico. New Mexico's not good enough. The question's going to be attack-wise. Michigan's passing game barely had a pulse last year. Can Bryce Underwood give them a pulse? They have the transfer, Donovan McCulley. He had been in Indiana 2 years ago. He'll come in. They were talking about him. John Jansen was talking about him the other day. Thinking Donovan McCulley, like he played quarterback. They moved him to wideout. He never did much. That's your big hope. Now Samaje Morgan is a good player.
Yeah.
All right. But can Bryce Underwood give their passing game a pulse, which they barely had last year? I mean, they were a dreadful team offensively to watch. And that, this is, I know it's New Mexico, but will they have the semblance of, hey, look, these guys can actually throw the ball around the yard with this kid? Let's just see.
The last matchup, number 9, LSU, going down to Clemson.
Okay, what's the
4.
real Death Valley? All right. It's Clemson, LSU. They both call themselves Death Valley.
Which is stupid.
They're both the Tigers. To me, you become the real Death Valley when you actually have a live tiger as your mascot.
Yes.
Right? Mike, here, kitty, kitty. Right? Meanwhile, Clemson's like, hi.
So
looks pretty friendly. All right. Look,
LSU at Clemson.
Look. All right. So, Dabo Sweeney, I talked yesterday with Jason about you have certain members of the media that I think almost take it as a badge of honor to be critical of something. And I brought up the Tommy Fleetwood example. I mean, I read 2 articles when he had all these near misses where he's playing great golf.
Yeah.
Great golf. There's 8 billion people in the world, 156 have their tour card. Right? Does anybody out there, can you do math? Okay? And then he had his positive attitude was bad. He's got to clean. He's got to work on all his positive. What do you want him to do in public? Swear, carry on, throw clubs? What do you want him to do? He just kept playing, stay positive. Oh, and he won the tour championship. Why? Because he's having a great year and he's a talented guy. Now Dabo Sweeney. In this era of NIL, which has now transitioned a bit, right? And in this era of the transfer portal, he has tried to keep his program as traditional as possible. And he's been ripped for it. Ripped. Okay. Well, guess what? Have they made some subtle changes there? Of course they have. And like everybody else, they're paying the $20.5 million. Okay. And he had his team in the playoff last year. They, albeit the game was in Charlotte. I mean, not exactly a long distance from Death Valley.
But they made it.
But they made the college football playoff. And by the way, I thought gave Texas all they could handle in the opening round. Right? And he has a good chunk of that team back, including Cade Klubnik, who has been doubted left and right. Same story, doubted, not the hype, blah, 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 the whole deal. Well, now they've got a couple receivers to go with him that can play. He's got a decent running game. He's throwing the ball well. Now, defensively, I'm going to see how well they can play defensively. To be honest with you, I'm expecting points. I'm expecting the win. To me, this game tomorrow night will be the first team to 30. Nussmeier is going to throw it all over the lot. Okay. And I think Clemson's defense is good, not great, but he's going to throw it all over the lot. Now, Brian Kelly, I mean, first of all, Clemson has the luxury of knowing they can win the ACC.
LSU does not have the luxury in the
That's
SEC.
exactly right. That's why LSU needs the game.
And your numbers match up, by the way, with the bookies, who have it at 57.5 over-under. So first team to 29 wins the game is what they're projecting.
Right. So, I mean, that's how I look at it. I think first team to 30 will win the game because I think it'll be a game that will have some points. I think it's going to be a fun, entertaining game to watch. And it's a game where I think if you say which team needs it more, because of the ACC, and it's only an 8-game run, and Clemson looks like they're the best team in the ACC, actually maybe by a margin, right? They've got that in their back pocket. LSU does not have that advantage. So I think they're going to need a game like this, and they're going to need Nussmeier to play really well because he'll be the guy playing on the road. But, yeah, I mean, that's how I look at it.
We make our way to Happy Valley. No more Death Valley. Steve Jones, Nevada comes in tomorrow against the Penn State Nittany Lions. The first game at the newly named West Shore home field at Beaver Stadium.
All right, so look, I watched them all preseason. I'm not going to get into. I mean, I think I've talked enough about Penn State. So let's at least tell you what Nevada has. What does Nevada have? Chubba Purdy, Brock Purdy's brother, is not like his brother. In fact, there was a period of time last year he was playing wide receiver. He played at Florida State 2 years. He played 2 years at Nebraska. Now this is his second year at Nevada, so he's a sixth-year player. He is athletic. He will run. He can move. The question is going to be how accurate is he at throwing the football. I believe he is 0-6 in his career as a starting quarterback. But again, he played a lot of wide receiver last year. He was not the starting quarterback. Turner, the running back's a good, solid player, number 2. I watch him play. I'm like, okay, he's not bad. Nate Burleson from CBS Sports and who played for the years with the Seahawks. It was a terrific NFL player. His son's one of the wideouts. He also has another son that's a defensive end, but he doesn't play as much as the wideout does. And it's his namesake, Nate Burleson. Tall, lean, good hands, but the best offensive player they have, in my opinion, is Marcus Bellin, number 18. He's only 5'7", but he can be a guy that they try to get the ball to in a variety of ways, including the punt return game. Very good. Their big issue last year, and it was a big issue, was their defense. And that's where you see a lot of changeover, and they have a lot of 4th and 5th year transfer players on this team. They have 54 new players on this team, 54 transfers, and a lot of them are 4th and 5th year guys. The best defensive player I think they have is 99 at defensive tackle, Thomas Woody. I think he is very good, very good. So, I mean, that's where they are. Penn State's the prohibitive favorite for a reason. Now you need to go out, and for the first time this year, you get to go out against somebody else. I think this will be invaluable for Jim Knowles, for example, because this will be the first time in practical application he can have his defense against somebody else. And it's not just what works, it's also what the players are retaining as to what he's calling, because it will give them invaluable film moving forward to make any corrections that are needed, or at the same time say, okay, we're really on the right track there. It's a good start. For this Penn State team, you mentioned defense. There's a player I talked yesterday with Thomas Frank Carr, my co-host on our upcoming Penn State tailgate shows, leading into you and Jack Ham, Roger Corey, and co. on your pregame show. Defense. An interesting player was named as starter. I discussed it with Thomas Frank Carr. I want to hear about this player more. Starting at safety alongside Zachy Wheatley, Antoine Belgrave Shorter. As a redshirt freshman, I believe, which is incredible. Okay, look. Well, even more incredible is that he came here as a corner and never played safety until he was moved there in November of last year.
So he's had all of, 8 months playing safety, and he's starting for Penn State? That's incredible.
Look, this becomes very difficult for fans who follow recruiting. He's a 5-star guy. He's a 4-star guy. And they get all enamored with the star thing, right? And people will ask me about recruiting classes. And I'll say, you know what, until I watch them practice, I'm not going to say much about that. I don't ever watch any recruit highlight tape or anything like that.
It's the highlight tapes, the highs. Doesn't include the lows.
Right. I mean, they don't show the guy at corner getting beat for an 80-yard touchdown. That seems to be eliminated from the highlight tape. But That's why I don't watch any of that, because I have the advantage of going to practice, and now I'm seeing you against comparable competition and what you're doing. Sometimes a guy just goes out and just wins the job. Not because the other people failed. The other people did just fine. But sometimes, for whatever reason, you're better. And he led this team in the preseason in interceptions and takeaways. And I said to Jack Ham after the first week, he said, because Jack wasn't able to get up here till like the third week. I said, hey, when you get here, watch Belgrave Shorter. I said, I think he's got a shot at winning the safety job. He says, no, really? And then Jack came in and he says, I can see why he said that. His instincts have been excellent. You do have the consummate center fielder in Zakee Wheatley. He's different than Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is like a Troy Polamalu. Zakee Wheatley's a lot like Ed Reed, right? More of a traditional
He's
safety,
watching the field, playing it all,
right. I mean,
ready for it.
Right, exactly. I mean, Paul Krause led the NFL with 81 interceptions in his career as a safety with Washington and with the Vikings. Right, he was maybe the best center fielder that the NFL's had. Just the pure center field part of it. Right, Wheatley is just like that. Belgrave Shorter, but this is when we start talking about starters. This is why I talk about the 50-man fourth quarter deal. All 50 guys that I'm looking at, I consider starters because they're going to play in the fourth quarter. Day-Day Lane and King Mack are both playing in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So, what, that makes them reserves?
No.
No. Okay? It just turns out Belgrave Shorter has earned the right to be the first one on the field. And he's earned the right to get more playing time.
Yeah. Which, to me, is incredible, especially if, like,
but that's
awesome.
But that's why you have preseason. You don't walk out there with preordained ideas. I'll give you one on offense. Aaron Ederline. Who's Aaron Ederline? Well, at some point tomorrow, number 86 is going to get in the game because I think he's one of the 7 receivers. Now, is he going to go and start? No. Is he going to be with the second unit? No. But at some point, 86 is going to be out there. You want to know why he's out there? Because he earned it. He made catches. He made some plays. You're like every day, like Doc Sebastianelli and I always stand on the sideline and say, "See, Ederline looks pretty good." A couple days later, boy, Ederline looks pretty good. But he doesn't show up on anybody's radar. He doesn't have enough stars or enough something. I don't know what, or they just don't know who he is. Well, guess what? I mean, is he going to be a guy that's going to get 10 balls in the game? No, of course not.
May get 1 or 2.
But did he earn his opportunity to get some, maybe a little, but some playing time? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then a player who got greenlit, a freshman, we're expecting to play and contribute this season. Chaz Coleman on the defensive side, on the defensive end position. Yeah. As someone who does not know much about him, give me some info on Chaz Coleman, Steve.
We've actually played quarterback at Warren Harding in Ohio.
Oh wow! He played quarterback and now he's defensive end. Well, bit of a transition, kind of.
Mike Rhodes was asking me about him on Wednesday night. I was with Mike, and Mike said, "Hey, which freshman might play?" And I mentioned Chaz Coleman. I said, "You're going to love watching Coleman." I said, "You're also going to get frustrated by him." And he says, "Why am I going to get frustrated?" I said, "Mike, he's 6'4", 245 pounds. He looks like a Big Ten power forward. You'd love to have him." I said, "That's what's going to frustrate you." He's 6'4", 245. So he actually picked up 5 pounds in training camp, which is good. Chaz is a smart, humble young man.
Yeah.
When they asked him a couple of weeks ago about where you think you are with the team, red, green, yellow, he said, "No, I'm yellow." And everybody in the room laughed. They're like, "He's not a yellow." But they all laughed.
Yeah.
But that's because he's humble and feels like he has to work on his craft every day. Well, he's just a kid. He does. Even a veteran, Denai Dennis Sutton, has to work on his craft every day. Just like punch the card. I'm here. Let's go play. You've got to work on your craft. So after practice the other day, Denai Dennis Sutton was out there working on his craft with Deion Barnes. Well, Chaz Coleman is the same way. He's working on his craft. He also is somebody who has the ability to self-correct. There was a play that was run, and he, with all due respect, he botched it. Right? Well, they're like, well, we got to run it again. Now, the coaches didn't say anything to him because at first they couldn't find him. All right? So they ran the play again, and he self-corrected.
Which is big. It means you recognize what happened, figured it out, and then immediately installed it yourself.
When Dion talked to him, he said, Coach, no, he said, I fouled it up. I knew it. Right? And then he did it right. Well, that makes all the difference in the world when somebody's thinking that way, where, oh, no, I made a mistake. You get it, now you're not going to get a second chance in the game, but your ability to know I fouled it up and check your pride out and say, hey, I gotta fix this.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, that's the kind of player he is. I'm excited to watch him. Like I said, he's 6'4". He's picked up 5 pounds in training camp. He's up to 245 now. And number 19 will get a decent amount of playing time tomorrow.
Which will be incredible to watch. Very excited to see him. We also had Darius Dixon, I believe a cornerback, got greenlit.
Look, Darius Dixon is, you knew in the spring he had put himself on the pathway to being greenlit. The question was, okay, it always is from spring to camp. Okay. Is he still in that pathway? He walked in the first week of camp, and he absolutely was on that pathway. Dixon has excellent instincts, and Dixon will hit you. He will hit you.
That is something that
he plays. He plays with a little bit of swagger out there for a freshman, and at that position, it's impressive.
Okay, so now we know kind of who to watch, who to look out for. This is going to be a big game here in Happy Valley. First one with the temporary bleachers up, 106,000 and some that we could see in the stadium for week 1.
Yeah, it's one thing I talked to James about this, and I said, when Penn State's gone in there, I said the weird thing is there's been no wind in there. So what's the pattern like? But the other part too is that they are going to go in before Oregon, and they're going to actually practice in the stadium before Oregon. The reason is that you'll see the bank of 4 lights on the west side. They were all in when Penn State practiced at night, but the 2 corner light standards were not in. They had to put the 2 corner light standings back up, but they had to take them down because of the construction area. Well, they finally got those back in. He wants to now practice in there at night with all the lighting on, as opposed to having 85% of it. So that's going to be down the road. But that's something that we'll deal with that week. But that's just so you know,
a little tidbit, and we will hear you voice Mr. Steve Jones alongside Jack Ham tomorrow. You guys are on the air beginning at 2 p.m.
Yes.
We're on here with our local pregame, myself, Thomas Frank Carr at 12:30.
My exact quote on the talk show last night when asked about it stands. We're at the 45-yard line. We're lowered to the field. Any mistake I make is completely my fault.
And any mistake that is made, also you can blame myself and Bob Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, a 7 Mountain Media production. Come back at 11 every weekday for analysis of the latest happening in the sports landscape. From college football to European soccer, Steve and Kyle cover it all on Sports Talk with Steve Jones.